Hello everyone, so this is the part 2 of adding the upper body animation into the ALS v4. So in part 1, in the comment section, one of you asked me that what if we want to add the arm animation to the layering group. So I searched it online and I found a better way to do it. So remember in the previous video, I simply removed the arm layering group, so this time I'll add it back. So just like the previous video, when we are firing, our arm will go back to the position of the animation sequence. So now open the firing animation sequence and we can change the additive animation type to local space. And remember to change the base pole type. If you don't change it, you can see our arm will rotate to a VA position. So now change the base pole type to the selected animation frame, and from here we can select our firing animation, and you can pick one frame. I just use the 0 frame index. So now you can see, so the arm animation is added on top of the base layer, and the arm offset is also working. So this is the better way, even better than the part 1. So I suggest you to use this method because the result is quite good. So now the first thing I want to do is to add the ability to continue firing of our character. So if we press the firing action, we want the character to keep firing instead of firing once. And so let's open the character blueprint, and we can add a variable here called should fire, and the type is the boolean. And when we press the firing action, we can set the should fire to true. And if we release, we can set the should fire to false. So after when we press the firing action, we do want to trigger the firing event once. So open the firing events, and we need to check should we fire. So if we should fire, then we can play the firing montage. Okay. Now if we press the firing event, it only fire once because we need to so now we need to add a animation notifier in the montage. So when we play the montage, we can trigger the firing event again. So if the should fire is equal to true, we can keep firing. So now we can add a animation notifier. I call it on firing notifier. So we can add a override function called receive notifier. So when this notifier is received, we can get the owner of the mesh, and you can cast the owner to the ALS character, base character, or you can create a interface and simply call the interface function. So I'm going to create a interface because sometimes you may not know the type of your owner. For example, you may have a animate class and also you have a player class, and they are not the same parent class. So sometimes you may not know the type of your owner, but you still want them to continue fire. So it is better to use the interface. So I create a new interface and I call it blueprint BPI. And the function is called on firing. Okay. And we can simply call the interface function here. Now go back to our character blueprint and we need to implement the interface. So click class setting and add our new interface here. Now we can implement the on firing. So simply call the fire event. Okay. Now everything seems all right. And we need to add the notifier to our animation montage. So this is the firing animation montage. And because we changed the additive setting to the local space, and you can see the montage is kind of weird, but it's okay. But this is hard for us to see the timing. So, but you do need to add the notifier in your montage instead of the animation sequence. If you add your notifier into the animation sequence, sometimes you'll find it where it may trigger the notifier many times in a short period of time. So you don't want this happen. So I think around here, and I add a notifier here. So when the animation is played until this point, the notify is received and then it will call the on firing event. So it will trigger the fire event again. So let's take a look. When I press the fire action, you can see our character is keep firing. And when I release it, our character stop firing. So the result is quite good. Okay. Now we can add the number of ammo and set the type to integer. So maybe that we can set the default value to 15. So now when we are firing, apart from checking should we fire, we can also add a branch here for checking the number of ammos. So if the number of ammo is larger than 0, we can play the firing montage. But if we don't, we need to reload it. And also, because when we can fire, we can use the on firing event here. First, we need to minus the ammo, set the ammo's amount to minus ammo minus 1. Okay. And then we trigger the next firing event. So we can create a UI here to display our number of ammo. So we can create a new UI wages, and I call it weapons UI. So I simply use a text block here and increase the size and add a binding here. So create a variable for our owner's reference. We can type can set to the actor. So we get the player, and we can make use of the interface again. Get numbers of get ammo. So the output is the number of returned value and set it to integer. So you can get BPI, get ammo. Okay. Now go back to our character blueprint and implement the get ammo function. We can simply return the ammo number. Okay. Now open our class blueprint and add under the event graph and add a event begin play. And when the event is begin play, we can create a wages, which is our weapon UI. And we can set the player variable of our UI to the player. So, and then we can add the UI to viewport. So now let's take a look. As you can see, our character is working just fine, but we cannot reload because the reload event simply play the reload montage. So we need to add the reload function, and there's one problem here. If we keep pressing the reload action button, you can see our character will stop the montage and immediately play the montage from the beginning. So we don't want this to happen. So I'm going to add a new enum called the weapon state. So the first state is none, and the second state is called reloading. Again, we can create a animation notifier state here. And call it weapon state, notifier state. And when this notifier begins, we can again make use of the interface. And the input should be and the input type should be weapon state. So now go back to our notifier state, we can get the mesh owner. And then simply call the set weapon state. So we can create a variable here called state again and set it to visible. And the type is again weapon state. Okay. Now at the end of this notifier, we simply set the state to none. Okay. Stay. Okay. Now we can open our reload animation montage and add a new notifier state here. And we can set the state to reload it. Now go back to our character blueprint. And we need to implement the set weapon state. Now create a variable here called the weapon state. Again, the type is the weapon state and we need to set it to the state. Okay. Now, from the reload event, we need to check. So we need to check if the weapon state is not equal to the reloading state, we can reload. So when I keep pressing the reload action, the reload montage only plays once. So this is what we want. Now we can add the ability of reloading, again using the notifier. So we can create a animation notifier called on reloading notifier. So this time we want the amount of ammo. Set it to visible and the type is integer. So open our interface and we can add a function called set ammo. And the input is the amount of ammo. So go back to our on reloading notifier, get the owner and call the BPI set ammo. And the amount, put it here. Okay. So go back to our character blueprint and we can implement this function. We can simply set the ammo to this amount. Now we can go back to our montage and so we can add a new notifier here. So on reloading notifier. So around here. And also, don't forget to set the amount of the reloading ammo. So let's see. Now our character is reloading. And the ammo is set to 15. Well, you can also set the amount from your character blueprint. So, for example, you can add a variable here called the remaining ammo, and when the notifier is called the set ammo, we don't need the input ammo here. We don't need the input variable here. We can simply get the variable of your character blueprint, for example, remaining ammo, and then add the ammo amount here. So there's many ways to do it. So you can use a better way to suit your need. So after, if we keep pressing the firing action, and when it is 0, it will automatically reload. But you can see after reloading, the gun is not fired. So we need to trigger the firing event again after reloading. So there's some way you can set the on reloading notifier to the end of this animation montage, and from here you can simply call a fire event once again. So let's see. So you can see we can keep firing, but you can see after reloading, so it will immediately stop the reload animation montage and switch to the firing montage. So you can put this notifier to the end or so it will not stop the reload animation. Also, you can create another notifier to tell the character blueprint to fire again. There's one more way to do it. From the reload event, you can make use of the return value of this montage. You can simply have a delay note here, and when the montage finish playing, you can trigger the fire event here. There's many ways to do it, so I'll stick to this. Now there's one thing that we can add a line chase when we are firing. So go back to our character blueprint, and from here on firing we can, because the firing time is very short, we can put everything in one place. We can put a line chase for objects here, and the object type we can make an array. So you can choose different type, for example, the point and the roll dynamic. And the start and end position is depend on your own project. So for this video, I simply use the socket location of the skeleton mesh of this M4A1 from here. So I start from here, copy the bone name. So we can get a socket skeleton mesh. So if you are using the because the original ALS has created the skeleton mesh to hold the weapon, so you can make use of this component. But if you are creating your own component, you remember to get the reference of your weapon, and then you can get the socket location. So get socket location. Okay. So this is the start location. And the end location, we can get the direction from this location minus this location. So here minus another vector, and we can normalize it, so the length of this direction set to 1, and we can add a variable here called range and set it to integer. So this vector we can multiply by the range. We can add from the start position and put it at the end position. Now you can also, when we are firing, we can play a sound. So go back to our firing montage, we can simply add a play sound notifier, and I simply use the existing one. So now we can take a look. So you can see everything works fine. So now you can, from the light tracing here, we can also, from here we can simply call the on hit actor, we can cast it to ALS animation map, and if they are here, we can simply call start vector here. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is the end of this video. Thanks for watching.